Alright, well, I finally got through all of Alien Earth, and boy do I have questions. First off, going into franchise extensions, reboots, or remakes, I am always skeptical because so many good things have been ruined by so many people, or they just flat out have no idea what they are doing. With Alien, however, I have seen the movies, of course, but I'm not an Alien buff by any means, so going into the show, I honestly wasn't expecting all that much. Surprisingly, I was actually not completely disappointed with this show. I'm not an Alien expert, so I had to stop the show a bunch of times to Google things about the franchise, so I can't really comment on the canon aspect of it. Well, not that much anyways. With that being said, by the end of watching the show, I was left with more questions than I was answers. I just wanted to go over some of the things that had me raising an eyebrow at or left me with questions and utter confusion by the end of the show. And maybe you all can answer some of them for me. Maybe also to point out some things I found dumb, or even things that I actually enjoyed about the show. And just a warning, if you haven't seen the show, there is more than likely going to be spoilers in this video, so just a heads up. Oh, and there is no particular order to these. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first episode of this show I thought opened really well. Most of it seemed incredibly reminiscent of the movies, at least from what I could recall of them. And a lot of the scenes are shot in very similar ways to the movies. Maybe I'm just a sucker for that type of camera work and cinematography, but I do really love that noisy, grainy vibe sort of thing. For the most part, the show centers around the Lost Boys, which is a reference to Peter Pan if you didn't know. That whole angle at first was kind of weird in my opinion, and it had me often wondering why that was or why they chose to use that reference. But then when I actually looked up the full story of Peter Pan, well, it's actually kind of messed up how dark and twisted the whole thing is actually. It isn't as nice as Disney made it seem, and trust me, it gets pretty messed up the deeper you go. Kidnapping, controlling, murdering, abandonment, and all that. So after learning that, it actually makes total sense. So it is a good reference, I suppose. One of the first questions that I was scratching my head about was the boy genius himself. The boy genius that basically kidnaps, ends up killing, moving the brains of the children from their dying bodies into synth bodies, or hybrids, I guess as they're referred to. How in the hell did he get the parents of these children to agree to all of this? No parent would just hand their sick and dying child off to a complete and total stranger, and then never be allowed to see them again or get an update to this treatment he promises to them of saving their child. And then they just get word that, whoops, your child is dead, sorry about that. And what, no investigation of that at all? And they just have to blindly take them at their word? Now, sure, that could just be me, and that I don't really fully know how the world works in this universe, or the amount of power that these companies truly have. Hell, it could be normal that normal citizens of these places truly have zero choice or power when it comes to these companies. And they could ultimately be able to do nothing but obey and blindly believe whatever they say, or else sort of thing. I don't really fully know. Or maybe it could be that they were just so desperate to save their child in the first place, they will take any chance they can get to save them. I don't have children, but judging how I am for my dog, if I had a child, I wouldn't just hand them off to some random corpo dickbag in the off chance that they could save them. Nor would I be able to hand my child over to them without being able to actually go with my child. And two, it isn't like these citizens don't know these companies can be or are extremely corrupt. Given how powerful these companies seem like they are, since they virtually run everything, my assumption would be that the citizens know full well. So for a parent to just hand over their child to some random corpo dickbag who refuses to wear shoes for some reason, yeah, I'm not buying that. And I don't think that they ever said that they kidnapped the children. At least, I don't recall them saying that. So, yeah. The second biggest question I guess I had was about the crew of the Maginot itself. I'm sorry, but how did these idiots capture these creatures in the first place? Like for instance, it's pretty clear that they had some knowledge of the xenomorphs, and yet, when a facehugger latches onto crew members, their first instinct is to try and remove it? Or put them back in their sleep pod? Like, what? I can't with these people. Like, they literally mention that it can survive the vacuum of space.
We know they can survive in the cold vacuum of space, right? We know they can survive in the cold vacuum of space, right?
You are made of stupid.
They fully knew that, and then they think that their sleep pods will stop it? Like, what kind of fucking dingbats are we working with here? I honestly can't with these people. Like, this crew sometimes was the most infuriating thing to watch for me. They're just so dumb. Like, for instance, the doctor in the lab, she's working with these creatures, right? She has them in tubes. Okay, cool. She's studying them as doctors do. But no, this doctor lady leaves her lid off on her water bottle and the container holding this creature. And it figures out the latch and escapes. And you probably guess what's gonna happen. This doctor has her open water bottle in a lab with this many freaking creatures, contaminants, and God knows what else she's playing with. Why she would have an open water bottle or food in that room is beyond me. Sorry, but you're just asking for it. Especially when it comes to alien life forms that you don't fully understand. And when she realizes that one of the bug creatures has escaped, she puts them back, and then she just decides to take her open water bottle that the bugs were near, pretty much right next to it, with her, without even looking in it. And of course, the bug put little swimmers in it. This is honestly so dumb. She's supposed to be a scientist or doctor or whatever, and she's breaking like every rule. Normally, if something like this happens, the entire room goes into lockdown until every item in that room is either completely sanitized, disinfected, or in a lot of cases, completely incinerated. You don't take your water with you. She just carries on like normal. Not a care in the world. By some miracle, she gets lucky and she doesn't drink the water. This guy does. And of course, he gets infected with the little swimmers. I mean, honestly. Really scraped the bottom of the barrel with these scientists. For a quick second, I was playing devil's advocate. I was thinking, okay, wait. Well, maybe she didn't know that the bugs do this. But no, that's just stupid. She's supposed to be a scientist or a biologist or whatever. Safety precautions in lab procedures shouldn't be something new to her. Or maybe they are, apparently. But judging from how the lab is set up with all the tubes, containment units, and all that stuff, there's no way. She must just be really dumb. Anyways, arguably the most creepiest nightmare-inducing creature, and also most interesting for me in the show, has got to be this thing. What the hell is this thing? It is, by far, the most creepiest and also most interesting creature in this show. It is hyper-intelligent, clever, and, to make it worse, it's also a parasitic creature, meaning it controls a host body to do its bidding. And it does this by ripping out your eyeball and popping itself in. And we know it's intelligent from how it acts. It even gets one of the kids killed by these weird metal bugs. It acts with purpose, thought, and clearly has been around for a very long time. It seems like it even recognizes the alien species, and the alien even seems to recognize it as well, given their weird interaction on the ship, as if there's some deep-seated rivalry between the two baked into their DNA or something. For a creature to evolve like this, honestly, I can't even imagine what kind of evolutionary path it had, and whatever it was would have been interesting to find out. Sadly, we didn't really get any answers on that front. This little stretchy nightmare creeps me out. And I don't know if it kills the host, but I don't know how that would work with a human. It can reanimate dead corpses because it goes into this guy's eyeball, so that's kind of creepy. And I also wonder if it can take over synth bodies or not. It tried to grab the one girl when they first encountered it, but it didn't seem to try that again. Then there's also this giant starfish Venus trap thing, which is another very weird creature. All these creatures had me genuinely questioning how the hell this crew of dingbats captured them in the first place. Anyways, aside from the creatures, another big chunk of questions I had was about the toddler synths. I mean, hybrids, whatever. I understand that they are basically children in adult bodies. Okay, I get that. But before they even get these bodies, the children don't seem as dense as they are when they do actually get them. For instance, before they get their bodies, they all meet Wendy. Wendy lifts all of them with ease at the same time. Hell, she can literally jump off a side of a cliff with no issue or damage. She even takes down an alien on her own with only a bonk on the head. Yet these two can't lift a single body and struggle the entire time trying to carry him? I mean, this kid literally moved this entire body through a whole vent system. Yet these two can't lift a single body together? Like, what? Things don't add up there. Like, the only one of these children that seem to be aware of how powerful they actually are or how strong they are is the little psycho one. And even then, she only seems to know that she's super strong when she gets angry. Maybe it could be argued that they did something to their bodies to make them more childlike in that transfer process. That might have happened. They do mention that they can adjust the level of hormones, so maybe they can adjust other things as well? But that brings me to another question. So they can just wipe memories away from the hybrid children. Okay. They can also upload whatever information they want to into their brains, basically. Why isn't every single one of them uploading or downloading as much information as they can get? I mean, if I had a body like that, everything I could get my hands on, I would be learning. And the whole staff team doesn't even really tell them they can do that, or show them how to do that, or force them to do that. Maybe on some level that's a way of asserting control over them so that they don't learn. I mean, that could be possible. It only seems like 2 of them actually do that or even realize that they can do that. I don't know, that whole part kinda doesn't make sense. To be honest, it's pretty clear that they didn't really have a plan set in place for them. There really is no real contingency plan if these children decide to go rogue or go crazy. For the longest time while watching the show, I honestly thought that they had an off button that they could just flip whenever they needed to, but apparently not, because no one uses it when the children started to turn on them. Like the soldiers, the boy genius, they all seem to know that electricity basically stops them in their tracks. Yet when they're going rogue and turning on them, what? Only one soldier has that type of weapon? We only see one of them. You would think that there would be an electric fence or some type of perimeter set up in case this happens, but there isn't. Maybe they just didn't want to damage them? But not having a plan in place in case something like this happens, it really is just dumb. Especially from someone called the Boy Genius. His name should be The Boy Be Dumb.
You are made of stupid.
It's honestly just really stupid that for someone with that name, he didn't think about that. These aren't just normal synths that he's probably used to. These types of hybrids are fully unhindered. They can kill people. I don't know, he doesn't seem that smart. Oh, and I guess in terms of electricity, the alien is weak to it as well? Like the cyborg zaps the alien, cool. He then foam wraps it, cool. Obviously, it doesn't fully contain it, but it does temporarily neutralize it. Then this same boy genius decides to make an alien and have zero plan in place for it at all. Like, this boy genius has no plan in place if the alien decides to do what it does best. I'm telling you, the boy be dumb. Maybe on some level you could argue the alien is just too fast and too good at killing. Okay, I get that. But I mean, come on. This cyborg guy can do it on his own, yet a whole army can't? And you set up no precautions for this? Then there's also the question of, so are the aliens pets now, I guess? Wendy can communicate with them, I assume because she's a synth. So why don't the other children communicate with it? Or at least have Wendy give them the knowledge, since they can do that. Maybe she doesn't want to and wants to control them on her own? If she did anyways, we never saw it. Obviously the alien isn't hostile towards them and doesn't target them. And I don't care what anyone says, you can't deny that Wendy is actually controlling them. She tells them what to do and they listen and follow her commands. Almost like a dog in that sense. She calls and they come running, every single time. I love the idea of an alien ruthless killing machine communicating for a change, I really do. And it was an interesting take on the whole idea of that type of creature being more intellectual and communicating with someone for a purpose rather than just be a brutal kill everything in sight sort of vibe. But I feel like they really should have at least had some better translation, or at least explain it to us what is actually going on in that relationship between Wendy and the alien. Because even before it becomes the alien that we know, she seems to have some sort of connection to the facehugger and the alien embryo itself. She was even hearing the alien before they knew it existed at all when they went to the ship. Which also begs the question, why couldn't any of the other children hear it? They are completely the same hardware and tech in them, right? That could have been a really interesting dynamic had they explored it further. Hell, I want to know, why is she connected to them? They communicate on some frequency, clearly, but it doesn't make sense that the other children can't hear it or couldn't hear it. That really didn't make sense to me. I don't know. I assume they wanted to leave that to our own interpretation on why only she can, and I imagine they'll probably explain it if there is another season. I guess we will have to wait on that one. Also, the alien does look different than normal, right? I'm not crazy, am I? This alien looks very different than the ones we are used to seeing. It even looks different than the one on the ship for that matter. Its whole head seems lighter and its body too, I guess? Am I crazy? It just seems very different. Maybe that's like a natural camouflage sort of thing? I don't know. Another question that I had was about the main synth, Kirsch. So he helps two of the children escape with the guy's body, and at first I was thinking, okay, he's clearly working with Yutani, right? I mean, he helped them escape with the body, so he must be. Why else would he do that? But then, turns out he's the one who catches the new alien and leads Morrow into a trap, basically. So, who is he working for? Because it clearly isn't Yutani. And no, obviously not, given how he set the trap and then beat the crap out of him when he could have just given him the alien and let him go. I also, at first, thought, oh, maybe this was all a part of the boy genius's plan. But we know better. Like I said, the boy be dumb. Now we know that the show ended with the Lost Boys flipping the script and throwing them all into the big bird cage. And it ends with Wendy saying,
"What do we do now?" Now we rule.
which could mean a lot of things. Oh, and there is 2 alien pets now. But it also makes me question, so the aliens crashing and landing on Earth, was this like a retcon? I don't recall them ever mentioning in the movies that the alien was ever on Earth before. I could be totally wrong, and if I am, please do tell me, because I'm curious if they retcon this or not. And for all we know, they might just end up sweeping it under the rug and burying this whole thing, since I'm pretty sure the island itself was a big secret and nobody knew about it. At least until Morrow told Yutani about it. Overall, I don't think the show was that bad. I enjoyed it. Yes, it had and left me asking so many questions and gave me more questions than answers. But I did enjoy it for the most part. Again though, that is coming from someone who doesn't have that much knowledge about the whole Alien franchise, and I'm sure there is many people like me who watched it. Like I said in my Halo video, if you have no knowledge of something going into it, it honestly probably is going to be pretty good for those of us that have no foundation to fall back on, or reference in what we are seeing to compare it to really. So I can understand if people didn't like it, that does make sense to me, and I get it. Even with all the questions that I want answers to, hopefully we will get them in season 2, if there is a season 2. At the time of recording this, there's still no confirmation on that, so time will tell, I suppose. Until then, good God, that damn eyeball is gonna haunt me. Anyways, that is all for this video, and the questions I can think of at the moment. I'm curious to know what everyone thinks or thought about this show. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing them all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss a single video that gets released. Thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. So, until next time.